The podcast you're about to hear involves true stories, which may contain graphic content that is not suitable for children. Listener's discretion is advised. This is Esoteric Oddities.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Always starting episodes off with
Hey
guys.
guys. It's the middle of October and we are drinking some spice cider.
There's vodka in it.
That's really funny.
Also, just I'm coming off of a cold. That's why I sound interesting and nasally.
I don't think you sound any different. I think you always sound nasally.
I'm
just
thank you.
Thanks.
So if I cough, it's because I've caught the black lung. So
no big deal.
No big MBD. But I hope my funeral is ballin'.
It will be because it'll be planned by me, and I know all of your desires.
That was romantic. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Who knew I could be like that?
Wow. But can we just talk about how my house is haunted?
Oh my god, guys, no. He texted me things like
I was sitting on the couch.
4 times a week.
I really don't want to like. I don't want you
to talk about it right now.
I'm just gonna
it's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna briefly go over a couple of things really quick. But I know everybody's like, oh my god, my house is haunted. Oh my god, my house is haunted. But like this one, that is a car.
But it doesn't sound like a regular car. That sounded
like
really
a haunted
weird.
car. Like that was a spooky car. I'm triggered. Let me make a story time about it.
Oh my god, we haven't said that in a while.
I know, but I am. Okay, but really quick. So I'm sitting on my couch. This was after a bunch of weird things have happened. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm home alone. And I hear like 4 knocks at my back door on the glass. And I live in a house, it's like a row home kind of, where like the houses to the left and the right of me are connected. And my backyard is kind of hard to explain, but to get to my back door, you would have to walk through an alleyway, then like through my neighbor's backyard, and then to my back. It's kind of hard to find. It's hard to explain. So somebody knocked on the back door like 4 times, and I didn't know why. If like somebody wanted me, if my neighbors ever wanted me, they've come to my front door. So
yeah, why would you go to the back door?
Why would you ever go to the back door? So I was like, what's happening? And my back light is out. So this was at night.
Can't see anything.
So I couldn't turn the light on to see anything. So I opened the door and there's nobody there. My neighbors are not outside. There's nobody there. And it was like a solid, like it didn't almost sound like a knock. It was a hard like. But it was on the glass because I could tell that it wasn't on the door, that it was on the glass. So then my brother comes home and I tell him, I was like, hey, somebody like just knocked on our back door, and it kind of like freaked me out a little bit because I'm home. Like I don't really, fuck with that. And as I'm telling him this, I have a DSLR camera in a camera bag behind the couch where I'm sitting. And as I'm telling him this, like it turns on within the bag. Like we hear the shutter, like Canons make us, I can't explain it, but if you've ever turned on a DSLR, it makes like a sound, and then it does the same one when it turns off. Yeah. And it made that sound as I'm telling him that weird things have been happening in this house. But also when I talk about them, more weird things happen. So I'm talking about it now, and we already had a situation earlier, so we're just going to stop talking about it. But you're listening to Esoteric Oddities. That's Sarah.
Dun-dun. Hey, I'm Sarah, and that's Jonathan.
Yes, it is. And I'm really excited about today's topic because...
But I just want to input one thing.
We
should really just like look up the history of your house. And
oh yeah, you can pay $11 to see if anybody's died in your house, and I'm gonna do that.
I'll pay you half, and we can talk.
Let's do it. Let's go halfsies.
Halfsies on a haunted house. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Maybe we will do that, and we will follow up on the next episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the people who lived here before moved before their lease was out, and the landlord wouldn't tell us why. So that's fun little fact for you and I to know.
That's literally what happens. Like every scary movie I've saw that dealt with like haunted house, it's always the tenants leave out of nowhere.
So it must be true. It's a fact. It's got to be.
It's factual.
Okay, but back to today's topic I'm excited
Yes.
about because I think it's more one of the most interesting, possibly touchy subject. I don't even want to say touchy. It's just a subject that you don't commonly talk to people about.
True.
So we're going to do it. And I thought I knew a lot about the subject, but it turns out I didn't. And that subject is death. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about death, baby. Yes.
Death.
Yeah, so we're not really going to talk about religious beliefs. Well, I don't know what you're going to talk about, but I'm not talking about religious beliefs or like what happens after death. So don't get your panties in a bunch. At least what I'm going to be talking about is what happens to your body, like when you die, both physically, psychologically, all that stuff. So maybe put your fork down. Pause this during your lunch break or at your breakfast if you're eating it. Or if you're like me and this stuff doesn't bother you, then keep on eating and bone apple tea.
Bone app the teeth.
Bone, get it? Bone apple. It's death. Dead people have bones for the most part. But we'll
Not
get
if
to
you're
that.
these people.
But people die all the time, and I think we as humans generally have a fear of death because we have a fear of the unknown, which is
so crazy because I used to be so scared of death. Like I would be so scared to die. I would really get like hot and I would get literally like a panic attack. But like it doesn't happen anymore. So
what, when you like thought about situations?
Yeah, when I was like younger. No, just when I thought about me dying.
Oh yeah, because it's
I would
gonna
have,
happen.
Like a panic attack. I'd be like, oh my god, like what?
It's gonna happen. The only thing we're guaranteed in life is death.
Yeah, that's crazy, and that's so not rewarding at all.
See,
this is what I have to look forward to.
I think it's interesting to talk about. I think it's such a taboo subject because I don't know, death is kind of a weird thing, but because we don't really know what happens, and then your body is just like here, like you're not here, but like your bones are still hanging out, and that tattoo you regret's like, hey, and we will get to tattoos later.
Regret. Oh my god, I have so many. I don't want to hear it.
You were the one who just said regret. I'm going to tell you. Oh no, you'll be interested. It's interesting, I promise.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say like my tattoos are gonna like shrivel up and
fall off before you even die.
Yeah.
They're gonna run away.
They're gonna run off my skin.
Yeah. But I think there's an interesting, if you really think about like the psyche of why people do certain things at funerals, at least us as a culture in the United States, I'm speaking from, not, I'll get into other cultures later, but like us, like why we decide to embalm a body and keep it preserved for like an open casket funeral so they look how they looked a couple days ago when they were alive.
Like that.
Well, a lot of the times they do. I know when my grandmother passed away, she had an open casket, and when she was like on her last couple of days, she did not look good at all. But when we had the open casket, she looked like great.
Oh, like normal.
Yeah.
And I know like some cultures, they like take pictures at their funeral.
Yeah.
And it's like frowned upon in America.
Oh my God. Wait, that reminds me really quick. I have 2 stories about this. I'll get into the other story, but I was assistant director on a film that had a funeral scene, and I was actually in this scene. This was the part of the movie that I was in. It's actually on Amazon Prime if you want to go check it out. And
What is it called?
Crooked and Narrow. Go check it out. And I took a selfie with the dead body.
Yes, no.
But it was an actor, so like he was fine.
Oh.
And I took a picture with him, and I titled, it was a Snapchat, and I was like, R.I.P. Uncle Sam, LOL. Like as a joke, like if you don't know me, that's like my type of humor.
Yeah,
it's like
he's
I would never, ever, ever do that if it was like a real body. That's so disrespectful. Right. And I feel like people don't think that I, have a conscience. Sometimes I don't think that I do, but
I don't either. Obviously, you heard things I've said here.
But like it was a joke, and I got so much flack for it. I got so much shit from like friends and like people who know me.
Why are you doing that? That's so disrespectful.
Seriously,
yeah.
I was blown up. I was like, LOL.
It's a joke.
It's a movie. Like he's an actor. He's not. I guess it was. No, you know what? That was great taste of like that was funny. I thought it was funny. I got a reaction, and that's all I aim for in life. And if my mom's listening, she can attest to that. All he wants is attention.
All he wants is another baby.
I was just gonna say that. That's funny.
It's really funny you say that because one time I was in one of Jonathan's films, and he put me in a body bag. And I swear to God, my whole body just collapsed like the boneless girl.
God.
Remember Addicting Games?
Yeah.
The boneless girl.
Oh, yeah. She would go through the bubbles.
Yes, that's how I felt.
Oh, my God. Yeah. She was being carried down the stairs.
That was so
We cut
funny.
that scene out, by the way.
Yeah, because it didn't look real.
It looked real, but it looked like people who didn't know how to carry a dead body down the stairs.
It was literally like that. I told you I felt like the boneless girl. Like, it was just like...
I know, but you were like a champ. You were so down for it. I didn't even tell you. I was like, hey, Sarah, I didn't tell you why you're here today, but get in the body bag.
Well, my hair was down and my hair was being pulled the whole time.
Oh, shit. I forgot that.
It was bad. I was like, my hair is getting ripped out of my head right now. And you were like, take 2. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about death. If that's not what you're about, then
Click off, Barb.
and I'm sorry, but it's actually really, really interesting stuff. For the most part, not gross, but like really interesting facts that I've learned. So with that being said, let's talk about the worst possible ways to die. I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about that either.
I was like, I could just talk about some...
We can, no, I'm totally kidding. But Sarah, I think you're up to bat first. So take us away.
I didn't title this one, so it is untitled.
Amazing.
Thanks.
I like your artistic direction.
Thank you. So in 1972, a man by the name of Max Moore saw a show called The Slip. Have you ever heard of that show?
The Slip?
Yeah. I mean, it was 1972, so we wouldn't have heard of it.
What country was it?
I think it was America.
Oh, okay.
A science fiction television show in which characters are frozen in ice. Max Moore didn't think much of it. He stated his friends were getting Cryonics magazine, and after that, it just clicked to him. I'm going to explain what that is in a second.
Ooh.
Alcor is one of the largest cryonics companies. Max Moore is now the president and CEO. He has been a member since 1986 and has opted for neuropreservation.
Sure.
Which is deep freezing the brain. That's how you
Well,
say
we
that,
don't
right?
know, just sure.
Is that how you say that?
What? I don't know. I'm not looking at it. Neuro?
No. Okay, so...
Preservation. Like you're preserving it.
Yeah. Okay, I want to
like
make
strawberry preserves.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too.
Any futurist loves the cryopreservation.
I was trying to swallow. Girl, you said it so well before.
I know, but it's butchered this time.
All right, it's okay. We're rooting for you. Go ahead.
Stop. We're just going to shorten this to cryo.
Okay.
Anytime, just know what I'm saying.
And I'm cryoing inside.
I'm the same. I'm crying. Moore states, this is a quote, "We see it as an extension of emergency medicine. We're just taking over when today's medicine gives up on a patient. Think of it this way. 50 years ago, if we were walking along the street and someone kneeled over in front of you and stopped breathing, and you would have checked them out and said they were dead and disposed of them. Today, we don't do that. Instead, we do CPR and all kinds of things. People we thought were dead 50 years ago, we now know we're not. Cryonics is the same thing. We just stop them from getting worse and let a more advanced technology in the future fix the problem."
So these people are alive when they're frozen in hopes that when they thaw out, it'll be the future and we can take care of them?
Sometimes. So in this specific article, they talk more about people actually being dead.
And then getting their stuff frozen?
Mm-hmm.
For what purpose does it say?
Yeah, to eventually, I guess, unfreeze the body and see if they can revive it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like Walt Disney's head.
Yeah.
That's been debunked, but I'm still buying into that. I think his head is hidden on the It's a Small World ride.
Why?
I don't know. I just like to believe that. So I'm going to believe it. And I'm going to spread the rumor. It's true. It's on the Wikipedia. And if it's not, I'm going to edit that page.
Literally, I hate Wikipedia for that. Although cryonics is untestable, researchers have been working on suspended animation, which is the temporary cessation of most vital functions without death, as in a dormant seed or a hibernating animal. So you know how animals hibernate for so long?
Yeah.
They like sleep for months.
Right.
It's basically like sleeping for months.
That's really interesting. Have they done it
Mm-hmm.
on a person?
I'll get more into it.
Okay. I'm excited.
Scientists are finding that they can cool a living being down to appear apparently dead before reviving them. Freezing a body for decades is a different matter. People are being frozen in liquid nitrogen with the possibility to be able to be revived at a later time.
That's crazy to think about if that works.
Honestly, like, this stuff is the future. Like, and it's so. Wait till I get into how much it costs.
And I know it's like playing God or like
is.
playing nature or whatever you want to believe in, to be like, this was your time to die, but we're gonna freeze you.
Basically, it's like
and
pause.
Like, yeah, that's interesting. It's like Futurama when Fry like wakes up in the future.
Yeah, remember you told me I might find myself down a rabbit hole.
You found yourself down a rabbit hole.
And
I told you.
I was at work shook.
Yeah.
I like, couldn't work
help a
for
customer.
The rest of the
Customer's
day.
like, hey, can I? Nope.
I was like,
nope. Sorry.
I can't speak right now.
Studying death.
The Alcor company has many workers from all over the world. More states, the company will eventually be able to tell when their members are going to die, and that's the crazy part. They refer to their coworkers as like members. Cause
that's some societal shit.
I'm saying.
That's some culty shit. I'm gonna be in a cult. If you guys are hiring or you have an open position,
why don't we?
And you have a cult,
make one up.
We would be I have so much on my plate right now. I cannot run a cult.
That's true, and you would try to run it because that's what you do.
That's what I do. But I'm like, sometimes I'm really bad with being in charge of people. They like want to revolt, and I'm like, you know what? You guys go ahead and do whatever you guys want to do.
I'm just done. I'm over it.
I just came for the patches. I didn't come to make friends. I came to win.
I'm saying.
If you are interested in starting a cult with us, go ahead and email us at odditiespodcast@gmail.com.
I love it. The company has a watch list of each member and failing health, and when it seems close to the time, I put that in parentheses because I didn't want to say death. They send out a standby team to do just that. The standby team literally stands bedside until the person passes. Max Moore claims it could be hours, days, or weeks. They have gone as long as 3 weeks waiting. That's crazy.
Oh my God. Imagine being that person in a room of people who are like, all right, dude, I got shit to do. Can you kick the bucket?
So basically, it seems like if you don't know what the fuck is going on, that you become the standby person.
Aw, that would be me.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, you're right.
Nice try, though. Once a person is legally dead, the preserving process can begin, and it is not by any means smooth.
Oh my God.
First, the standby team moves the body from the hospital bed into an ice bed and covers them with ice. Now, the ice that they cover in, you know that ice from Sonic? It's like the crushed ice.
Oh my God, that is
it's
the
like
okay. I'm an ice chewer, and Sonic and Wegmans, they got the best ice, y'all. It's like soft, but it's like kind of chewy. It's weird how they do it, but whatever you guys are doing, Sonic, keep it up. And if you want to sponsor us, go ahead and email us at odditiespodcast@gmail.com.
Please, I like your taters. A heart-lung resuscitator is used to get the blood moving through the body again. After this, 16 different medications are pumped into the body to protect cells from deteriorating.
Oh my God, they're literally like pretending that this body is alive, but it's like brain dead.
Mm-hmm. It's like dangerous, kind of, if you think about it.
Well,
I feel like
dangerous.
This is how Frankenstein was made.
Frankenstein was actually made from different body parts and a lightning rod, but we can freeze them too.
Okay.
Frankenpop. It's like a popsicle. Actually, it wasn't Frankenstein. Frankenstein was the doctor. It was Frankenstein's monster, but people just call him Frankenstein because...
That's really annoying.
It is really annoying.
Give him credit.
Who? The doctor?
Monster.
He doesn't even have a name. It's just Frankenstein's monster. We can name him.
Let's name him.
All right, let's name him on the count of 3, and whatever name it is, we're going to stick with it. And I feel like we're going to... Okay, ready? Think of the same thing as me. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hubert.
Jeremy. I love it. Jeremubert.
Love it.
Jeremubert.
I love.
Okay, continue.
A member of Alcor quotes, "Because cryonics patients are legally deceased, Alcor can use methods that are not yet approved for conventional medical use. Once the patient is iced up and medicated, I laughed that I put that.
Iced up and medicated.
Yeah. I was literally typing this at work, like laughing to myself. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. They move to a place for surgery. The next step is draining as much blood and bodily fluids as possible and replacing them with a kind of solution that will not form ice crystals.
Like vodka?
Like antifreeze.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
I mean, I feel like vodka is like antifreeze. You know I hate vodka.
It's literally in your mug right there. I'm staring at it.
Yes, and here I am because I had a hard day. I had a bad... Oh. Almost. Once the patient's veins have antifreeze in them, Alcor begins to cool them down by 1 degree Celsius every hour until the body reaches... Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Negative 196 Celsius.
That's like really... Well, Celsius. Whoa. Curveball. What is that in Fahrenheit? This is America, where we like to be unique and measure things in feet.
Yeah,
and Fahrenheit.
I don't even know what that is. And then bodies are placed upside down, and then they're usually like alongside 3 other bodies.
Wait, what temperature is it? I'm going to look it up really quick.
Negative 196 Celsius.
I don't know how to spell Celsius.
Oh, ha.
It is... Oh, shit. That cannot be right. Is that right? I don't know. This is just what Google's telling me.
It says negative 196.
Negative what? Oh, that's it?
It says C, so I'm guess that has to mean Celsius.
That has to mean Celsius, but what I'm looking at right now...
The limit does not exist.
The number I'm looking at right now is negative 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Can things get that cold?
I mean, I feel like they would have to if they're keeping them.
But that's so confusing because... Okay, I'm not going to get into degrees. So it's 196 Celsius. We're just going to go with that. Jesus.
If a patient hasn't told Alcor they were sick, or if they die suddenly, the process can be delayed for hours or days. In one of their most recent cases, an Alcor member committed suicide. I don't like to say that.
A member?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. So a person who works there, not a patient?
No.
Okay.
A person who works there took his life. And Alcor staff had to argue with the police and coroner to get access to the body. The longer the wait between death and
Okay, wait. Rewind really quick. Before he did that, why do they want access to his body? Did he sign his body over?
Yeah.
This is a cult.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I'm into it.
I love it.
I actually don't I don't know if it's a cult, but like
it seems like it if you
it does. Well, I mean if you're a member in that, we probably have like an interest in.
Well, it costs a lot of money.
Ooh, okay. Continue.
So
I'm
it's
sorry.
like a lot. The cells will decay, and the harder it will be to resurrect and cure the patient.
Imagine being resurrected. Their biofreeze is running through your body. Imagine what that feels like. So when they like thaw you and you actually do come back alive, that shit will probably burn.
The shit will burn. I feel like your brain is going to be dead. Everything's just going to be like...
So like what?
I don't know.
Okay. We're not knocking what you guys are doing, but if you're listening, we got questions.
Call us.
Or email us at odditiespodcast@gmail.com.
Or add us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Esoteric Oddities. Add us on Twitter.
Oh my God. Can we just continue? Jesus Christ.
Moore is the first person to admit that cryonics comes with no guarantees. This is a direct quote.
He's the first person to admit it. I think that we get that because it's never... to my knowledge, has it successfully... No, nobody's ever been thawed out from a frozen.
No, you know that shit would have... someone would have wrote about it
somewhere. I'm just trying to be a human freeze pop.
Human freeze. We do not know for sure. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, he says.
No shit.
Right. It's possible that Alcor and companies like it are simply storing a lot of dead bodies in liquid nitrogen.
Oh my God.
But he also claims that cryonics is unlike a lot of other futuristic technology.
I have to believe that this... I know you're going to get to the pricing of it, but I have to believe it's really expensive, and it's also probably not that great for the planet if you're literally dead and you're consuming energy even when you're dead. Mm-hmm. All right.
Or the universe, like just fate and like all of that stuff wrapped in one. I feel like once you're supposed to go, it's like because of something, and like it has to happen in order for other things to happen, and now you're kind of
like
playing.
the butterfly effect.
Yeah, and now you're like playing with
God. Playing with dead things. Children shouldn't play with dead things.
unless you're
Unless you're me as a child.
right. Unless you're and Michael Myers as a child.
There
too.
you go.
There's no fundamental physical limit to be able to repair issues. It's not like time travel.
What?
I don't know how I don't know.
That just
how
kind of like
he-
casually slipped out of your mouth. He's just like, you know what? It's like, it's got issues. It's got loopholes.
It's
not
not
like time
like
travel.
travel.
That shit we got in the bag. We figured that out.
Sir, we didn't figure that out either.
What planet is he living on? He might be huffing that biofreeze.
I don't know, but no one knows when they're going to be able to wake patients up.
Right? Like, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
But seriously, what are we waiting for?
Or if they'll be able to at all. They don't know.
This sounds like a scam.
Right, and it's a lot of money. I can't stop saying that.
I know, so tell me how much it is.
All
I gotta
right.
save my pennies.
Don't.
Line out coin bank, line out coin bank, save your money, save your money. We're not sponsored, but yo, Lionel Coinbag, y'all are the shit.
Keep your
Save your-
coins.
I want change. Okay.
Definitely put that as the title for
I'll
this.
think about it unless I say something wittier. And let's be honest. I'm just kidding.
Lesbian. All right. But it's really impossible to say. We probably don't even know what repair technology would be used. This man.
A Band-Aid. And a microwave.
It seems like that. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah. Okay.
As of 900, as of
Okay,
today,
wait. How about, are you about to tell me the prices?
Yeah.
Can you do it like car salesman person? Be like, hey, can I interest you in this package for this price?
I
Or-
can't do that.
Come on, yes you can.
Okay.
You worked in retail. Come on, sell it to me,
Worked.
baby. Sell it to me, baby.
All right. Okay.
Can you size me for my bra? She used to work at Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, 30 to 5,000 A.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think you might fit in a AAA.
Triple A. If you have car problems, call me because my titties are triple A.
That's like the really
Convex tits.
Thanks. I don't want
If
to say
anybody's
flat.
listening and you have triple A, like I'm here with you, literally. Come on, sell
Here
me.
I am. Okay.
Give me them prices.
As of today, 984 people are signed up with Alcor to be preserved when they die. People who sign up for Alcor services pay a yearly membership fee of. Can I interest you in this yearly membership fee to possibly preserve your body?
Okay. Oh yeah. Tell me more.
Okay, so even though we don't really know the outcome of it, it would be only $770 to do this unknown thing to your body.
year.
How about you say? Why don't you try it?
Only wait. How much is it?
It's $770.
A year.
And then when
Is there a minimum amount of like?
it doesn't matter if you're like me and you're 4'9" and you're really short, you pay $770. Okay.
I need a really small tube. Just keep me in a small fucking tube.
And then if you want to pay for this yearly, it is $8,800.
Whoa. Wait, what was the 700 for?
It's a membership,
Oh, you got to be a member, and then you got to pay the yearly.
and then you got to pay $80,000.
You know what?
It's $80,000 to $200,000.
A year.
Yeah, to preserve
For
your
one
whole
person.
body.
Okay, wait. Hold on. No. Okay, wait. Is that price a year or to get the whole thing done? Is it like a how?
A yearly membership fee is $770.
So wait, what happens if you're like on your deathbed and you're like, I want to be a member, and then you don't have to pay? Like if I became a
Then
member
you have
right
to pay
now,
$770.
that's it though.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest is when you're on your way out. Like make that bingo bango, get a deal, save
Right.
some bucks.
And then when it comes time to actually preserve someone, it ranges from $80,000 to $200,000.
Yeah, but you're dead. Your money ain't going. You ain't going. Oh, but you're coming back, so you need that money. What are you gonna do when you come back and you are you've been
I'm the
unemployed
worst
for
car
200 years?
salesman.
You know, do I get a coupon? Do I get a take home tote?
No, it's literally no % off. You got to be rich to do this. Well,
does it come with a bumper sticker that says I donated my body to
I'm preserved in ice.
Oh my god.
Drink me. I'm a cold beverage.
Oh.
So patients get a life insurance policy, and
This is getting weird.
well, the life insurance cost equivalent to the cost of freezing.
I'm over it. I want it for free, and I want it now.
And he says anybody who can afford an insurance policy can afford this.
I don't like the way I don't like his tone.
I don't either. Like, who are you?
Who's taking over the company when he dies is the question.
Mork. I don't know. He's going to be preserved, so he'll never die. They'll probably freeze him for 5 days and then bring him back to life. And then there you go. It's an ongoing cycle. Immortality doesn't exist.
I'm sorry that when we bring all these people back, that 940, however many people you told me are on that waiting list, we're going to bring them back and some crazy shit's going to happen.
Haven't you ever seen
Dawn of the Dead?
No. American Horror Story Coven, when they brought him back.
Hold on. I haven't watched it. Also, these people, we cannot be doing... Oh, wait, Coven. Oh, yeah. Okay, I was thinking cult.
Yeah. No, not
Sorry,
Coven.
I got cults on the mind today.
When... I know, for real. You really want to be in a cult. But no, when she kills him on the bus and then she tries
Spoiler alert. Continue.
And, well, it's all a spoiler alert now. If y'all haven't watched it, like, just forget about it. You're never going to do it. That was, like, 3 years old. What are you doing?
That's more than 3 years old. So
right. What are you doing? WID. Question mark.
All right. Yeah, and he comes back and he's not himself.
And, yeah, so that's what would happen. And that's the end of the story. Max Moore has no more to say. And typing this, I really started to hate this man.
That's interesting. He seems like he's definitely in the market to scam some people into becoming oversized ice cubes.
This drink smells like a candy apple.
It does. If you guys are looking for, if you are 21 years or older in the United States or wherever else, however old you need to be where you drink legally, get some apple cider and some salted caramel. I get the Stoli's caramel vodka, and I mix it in there. Smirnoff. I had Smirnoff before, but I got Stoli's caramel vodka, and you mix it with apple cider
and heat it up.
And you can either heat it up or drink it cold. We're drinking it cold right now, but heat it up. It tastes like a liquid candy apple.
Liquid.
And it's great. I think that's a plane.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane.
All right, so okay, really quick, if you want to read more about the stuff that I'm about to talk about, make sure you check out the sources, which are in the show notes. Our sources are always in our show notes if you ever want to read up more and see where we got our information from. Okay, so let's really quick talk about embalming. So your body dies and you need to be embalmed. Well, in some cases. So what is embalming exactly? I'm going to get into a brief history lesson really quick. Hang with me just so you can hear how things started.
No!
And then we're going to get into the great, juicy, literally leaky stuff. Okay?
Oh, I'm scared.
So embalming is a way of temporarily preserving the body of a corpse via the use of chemicals, mostly formaldehyde. Yes, brief history lesson here. Pay attention. There will be a quiz. So in the 1800s, embalmers used arsenic. And let's be honest, that's an awful fucking idea.
Yikes.
So lots of embalmers died while handling arsenic. And if you think about that, that's pretty ironic. And in 1867, chemist August Wilhelm von Hoffmann, he sounds hot, but trust me, he is not hot. I Googled him.
Drop a picture.
I will somewhere. You always tell them I'm going to drop a picture and then I don't.
I know.
No, but the last name Hoffman fooled me. I was thinking about Dustin, and I thought of Straw Dogs and a nerdy chemist with great hair, and then I thought of Kramer versus Kramer.
Who dat?
Long story short, he was not an attractive man. Some may call him an ugly.
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 'Cause you're ugly. What is that part in She's the Man?
I have no idea, but you are amazing.
Thanks.
So yes, he was ugly. But thank you for your discovery of formaldehyde, which replaced arsenic in the 20th century and became the foundation of modern methods of embalming. So typically, History lesson over. There is no quiz. LOL. I fooled you.
That was the quiz.
Yeah, that was a quiz. So a typical embalming takes about 45 minutes to an hour to complete. Cosmetology, dressing, and the casketing of a body may prolong the process to several hours, depending on the body. You have a question, ma'am? I see your hand up.
I do. Does the embalming process, does the makeup and the dressing, is that included in the 45 minutes?
No. Did you just not hear me? Should I restate my...
I guess not.
So it's the embalming process takes 45 minutes to an hour to complete, depending. And then on top of that, the cosmetology, the dressing, and the casketing, which they have to put the body in the casket, make it all pretty and presentable, is an additional amount of time. I'm just going to talk about just the body. And the prices range approximately in the United States from $495 to $1,290 US.
Do you know what's the difference? Like, what makes it $400 opposed to the $1,000?
That's a good question.
Does it all depend on what shape the body's in?
Probably. It also depends on how much you need to get done. Like, yeah, pretty much like how... Yeah, if it's open casket, if it's closed casket. So let's get into it. So first things first, the deceased is undressed and placed on their back on a mortuary table with the head elevated by a head block. The next step is checking vital signs to prevent premature burial. Very important. Embalmers check for clouded corneas, lividity, rigor mortis, and a pulse, to make sure that... the bitch is dead. So, sorry, all due respect. But if the body is still alive, I'm really curious to know what happens if you literally just think about waking up in like a morgue.
Literally. Oh, I'm not dead. JK.
I don't even smoke. I say after I cough. I don't even smoke, but like I need a cigarette after thinking about that. That's terrifying. Also think about how the embalmer would feel if like a body just sits up. Horrifying. Like that episode of Tales from the Crypt. That's a great episode. That might be my favorite in season 1. I forget what it's called. The cat something. The guy.
No, your favorite one is the you put it on the one time.
The guy who has 9 lives because he's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where he
gets
wakes
up from
up.
the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You also look that one up. I forget what it's called. So, but look it up. Just type whatever. I just
type in "man has 9 lives." Tales from the Crypt.
You got Googling down to a science. So then if the body is indeed dead, it is washed. I hope they use Lush products on me because I have skin sensitivity.
Need that organic name.
Yes, please. So it's washed in a disinfectant solution. Oh, okay. Well, that goes out the window. If I die in the fall, use Lord of Misrule shower cream because that shit smells delicious.
Noted.
And the limbs are massaged and manipulated to relieve rigor mortis. Any facial hair is shaved off unless the person who has passed away wore facial hair. Then it is trimmed and before the cosmetology, it's just kind of like trimmed a little bit, makes you look a little bit prettier, bada bing, bada boom.
Gotta look pretty to get eaten by bugs.
Mm-hmm. Love it. So the eyes are closed. They often use skin glue or plastic flesh-covered oval-shaped eye caps that sit on the eyes and secure the eyelids in place. Then the mouth is sewn shut because when you die, your jaw has a tendency to open. If you've ever seen a dead body with the mouth open, I don't want to get into it because I will have PTSD.
Google it.
I've seen it in
oh my God,
real life.
No way.
So anyway, the mouth is closed and the lower jaw is secured either by sewing or wires. If the jaw is sewn shut, string is threaded through the lower jaw, below the gums, up and through the gums, through the front of the teeth, into the right or left nostril, through the septum, over the... It's really hard. It's hard for me, like, explaining, but it's literally just, like, crisscrossed throughout your mouth, like, your bottom and upper jaw, and then up through your nose, through the other nostril, because the nostril, your septum, is pretty much what's, like, holding it kind of, like, close. It's like the little lock. Do you know what I mean? So then the two ends of the string are tied together. If the jaw is wired shut, a tool called a needle injector is often used to insert a piece of wire anchored into a needle into the upper and lower jaws. That's pretty much, honestly, if I would prefer that way because it just seems a lot easier. It's just wired from top of your gums to the bottom of your gums.
I'm literally speechless. No
septum piercing needed.
They'll just do it for you.
Yeah. So once the jaw has been secured, the mouth can be manipulated, make them smile, make them frown. Depends on how they were when they were living, you know. Show them pearly whites. I actually probably don't because I don't think they can do that. So next is the arterial embalming, your arteries, which is the process of draining the blood vessels while simultaneously injecting embalming chemicals into the arteries. So this is done using a centrifugal pump, which mimics the beating of a heart, which is similar to what you were talking about when people are being frozen or scammed, excuse me. And you're also getting a great head-to-toe body massage by someone because it helps break up the blood clots to ensure a thorough distribution of embalming fluid. That's great. Perfect. So the blood, which is expelled as the fluid is injected, is then sent down the drain and into the sewer system. This is just a really quick reminder that this shit just goes straight into the street sewers and is sent to a normal water plant where it is treated along with rainwater and water that you flush down the toilet with. Yeah. So right now you could be sipping on some fluid that used to be in a corpse.
Oh no.
Yeah. But it's been treated like no big deal, but it probably was in a dead body at some point.
Stop.
So following that embalming is the cavity embalming. So for the cavity embalming, it's a small incision near the belly button. They use a sharp surgical instrument used for drainage. It's called a trocar, Trocar, ? And it's inserted into the body cavity. So using that, the organs in the chest cavity and abdomen are punctured and drained of gas and fluid contents. Y'all, we're full of fluids, literally.
Sure am.
I'm always bloated, so they're going to have to make sure that they're
going to have to
really drain it out. So thanks. Shout out to whoever's doing this in the future. If I ever get embalmed, who knows?
You want to be embalmed? Why don't you?
I don't know. We'll talk about it at the end. That's what I want to talk about is like what you think and what I think, and then we'll get to that. So hang around, folks.
So,
you're not going to want to miss
up,
it.
Sarah.
I know you're interrupting me. This is my time. You get 15 minutes. I get the rest.
Oh.
Just kidding. So the fluid contents are then replaced with formaldehyde blazed? Are you blazed? Formaldehyde-based chemical mixture. The incision is closed, blah, blah, blah. And then the body is technically fully embalmed. So embalming for funeral purposes can last for days to weeks, depending on the chemicals, strengths, methods, temperature, humidity of where the body is stored, and the rate of decomposition. Hypodermic embalming is a supplemental method of embalming in which fluid is injected into the tissue using a hypodermic needle and a syringe that treats the area where arterial fluids did not reach. It's basically kind of getting the details, the nooks and crannies, just making sure all of you is good. We don't want that little space behind your ear to start decaying and the rest of you to look beautiful. Now, do we? So surface embalming. I'm almost done with embalming, y'all. Surface embalming utilizes embalming chemicals to restore surface damage due to decomposition, cancer, or other epidural injuries, and is applied directly to the skin. So it's like a topical treatment, kind of.
So is it like concealer?
Not quite. It's an as needed thing. It just like does weird. It's chemicals, and it does like it kind of brings your skin back to life depending on what you need to be done. Then a moisturizing cream and lotion is applied to the deceased, and makeup is applied to the face, the neck, the hands to mimic a natural complexion. Hair gel or baby oil may be used, as long baby powders, all this fun stuff. Sometimes wax plaster of Paris. Don't know what that is. Should have looked that up, but I didn't because I'm professional. And other cosmetic techniques are used to reconstruct the features. Also, I kind of want Kat Von D to do my makeup when I die. Side note, I want that lippy kit. Ooh, get me that Kylie. Ooh, I want Kylie lips. That would look so bad.
Yeah, I've literally looked at you like, no, I'm never doing that.
So the deceased is dressed for visitation or funeral services, placed in a coffin or casket of choice. Side note, when I was a kid, I remember this is maybe it's just because I'm morbid, but I remember I really, really, really wanted my casket to be filled with ball pit balls. Just I imagined myself as an old man, just with ball pit balls in my coffin.
That would be so buddy.
And like I just wanted everyone to like have a ball. That's weird.
Everyone have a ball.
You have a
You would be taking shit out of
Oh my god, just okay. Yeah. Well,
and then, oh my god, wait, you could like autograph them and just put them all in there so then like people have something to take home.
what I would autograph them?
Yeah, like
Before I
you
die?
Yeah, we would like put them in a box and you would autograph like 5,000.
And then when
balls.
people come up, they just pick a ball
They
out.
pick a ball out with your autograph and they go about their day.
I like that idea. I mean, I like where your head is. So private or home viewing by family members and close friends can occur without embalming in the United States. Again, I'm talking about the United States. Sorry, Canada and the rest of the world. I don't know what y'all laws are. So there's no state or federal laws that require embalming for public viewing. For public viewings held in funeral homes, embalming may be required. It depends on the funeral home.
No, we gotta embalm this.
And in instances in which a body is shipped across state lines or long distances, state law may dictate the use of embalming or not, or dry ice, or you could just be put into a Ziploc bag. Go ahead, we're going to keep it in the Ziploc bag.
Ziploc bag.
Okay, really quick. So back to that story I was telling you about when I was doing that movie. So we filmed in a funeral home. It was a real funeral home. With the casket that the actor was in that I Snapchatted was a prop casket. We actually had rented it and there was no dead bodies that had ever been in it before. It was a real casket, but nobody had ever been in it before, you know? So we filmed on a weekend, and it was an old man who owned the funeral home, and he usually had a group of younger gentlemen who would help him set up for a viewing. And we filmed where they did real viewings. It was very weird, and it looked, funeral homes mostly look like they're stuck in like some time period.
Yeah.
And they always have those little candies in a bowl, which were greatly appreciated. So, oh my God. I don't know if I ever told you this story. I was with Kevin, and basically when we wrapped that location, we were moving on to our next one, and he was saying that he has a body downstairs. It wasn't a morgue, but it was like a holding chamber. It was like refrigerated, and the body was in a casket, and he said he's never asked anybody to do this because nobody's ever filmed at this place, but he usually has people who come and help him bring the body and the casket up and get it ready for the viewing, and he didn't have those people, and the viewing was the very next day. So I don't remember who, but I'm not going to name drop who it was on the crew, but somebody nominated myself. It was not me. Someone nominated myself and my friend Kevin. Kevin, if you're listening to this,
Hi, Kevin.
To move a dead body and bring it into the funeral home. So
Sign me up.
This old little man walks us to, it was like a split, it wasn't a split level, but the basement of it was on a hill. Right. So you can walk in the front door and you're on like the first floor, and there was a basement, and you could get to the basement from the outside because it was a hill, if that makes any sense. So we walk down the hill around the house to the basement where it was like outside. He opens up the back. It's just like holding cells for like bodies, and it was really weird. So we have, I don't know what it is. It's the wheels. It's not a gurney. It's just like the wheelie things,
Oh, yeah.
And we have to go in and grab the casket and throw the body on the wheels.
Just like heave it on there.
He was so not fazed by it, and we have to push it up a hill, and he's telling us about this man who's in the casket, and I'm pushing this thing up the hill, praying that we're not going up the hill and the top opens, and he literally like flings forward like towards me because that's the way that gravity would carry him. Right. And I'm just hoping to God, to Allah, to Jesus, to share, to whatever it is that runs the universe, that this doesn't happen, and we push the body up and we get it together and we like make it presentable for a viewing.
And we shake hands and we go.
And it was very bizarre. It was I'm telling you, every time I'm on a set, like something crazy happens.
Yeah.
I always tell you, a lot of the stuff technically legally I can't talk about, but like there's been some crazy weird
Seriously, I would never. I don't think I would do that. I'd be like, no, whoever nominated me can't carry it.
This also, like, I'm on a set where I'm working with other people who I want to work with again. And
so
if they,
like,
they're like, hey, John did a great job. He moved a dead body, like what we needed him to, like.
Brownie points.
Yeah, so that was really, really interesting. Okay, so kind of skipping around here. So in Amsterdam, totally different topic. They will preserve your tattooed skin after you die for your friends and your ugly kids to keep in a jar on a fireplace mantle or as a decorative paperweight.
I'm never doing that.
So Peter van der Helm. Also, to anybody who's actually done this, to a relative, you might have a relative or friend or somebody who's interested in this. I'm not making fun of this. I'm just stating facts. So I'm not trying to come off as a dick, but if I do, then up yours.
I'm not coming for you because you preserved your friend's
Tattoo.
cousin's sister's tattooed skin, but
I want my tramp stamp
do that.
in a jar. That's all I want. Spring Break 03. So Peter van Helm, he's a Dutch tattoo shop owner who's behind the concept. He said in an interview, quote, "Everybody spends their lives in search of immortality, and this is a simple way to get a piece out of it. Everybody with tattoos has this idea. It's not a new idea. We just found a way to actually do it." So there's about 30 clients of the Walls and Skin Tattoo Parlor. It's the name of the tattoo parlor. Who have donated their skin to a company in a will. So they're still alive. They have the tattoos on their body, but they've already signed it off in their will that when they die, their skin is going to be given to this company. They've each paid a few €100 to do so. And when they die, a Dutch pathologist will remove the tattoo and freeze it or package it in formaldehyde, ideally within 48 hours. And then it will be sent to a laboratory outside of the Netherlands, where a 12-week procedure extracts water and replaces it with silicone, leaving a rubbery substance.
See, that's so you know. If it takes 12 weeks to do, you know that you shouldn't do it.
So one man is looking to have it done. He stated that, quote, "People have stuffed animals in their house, so why not skin?"
Sir, one of these things are not like the other.
Okay. All right, so really, let's talk about cremation. So in the United States, most cremation machines handle 3 to 5 bodies every day. Bodies who are cremated in caskets, you can literally get a cardboard box. You don't have to get a casket if you want to get cremated, but you do have to be in like something. You can get like a cardboard box, but there's laws against reusing caskets. It's okay. Here's a loophole to the law, though. If you want to have a viewing and you want to have an open casket viewing, ask funeral homes about a rentable. I don't know if all of them have it, but you can actually rent a casket and you can buy the cardboard box. It's literally cardboard, and they'll slide it in and like they'll make it look pretty, so it won't look like you're like on a pizza box. Right. And then when they go to cremate you, they don't take the casket, so you're not having to pay for the whole casket.
Oh, that's nice, because caskets are expensive.
They're expensive, and you're just going to burn it.
Yeah.
And you're dead. Who cares if it's comfortable?
Literally.
I'm just going to skip around because we are running out of time. So there are certain prerequisites associated with cremation because it is an irreversible process. I thought this was really interesting. So you're required to have a death certificate of the deceased and obtain permission of the coroner. So I'm glad these laws are in place because that would suck if like you were cremated alive. Have you ever seen Scrooged?
No.
With Bill Murray. He's like, I don't remember the whole concept of it because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I just remember that he was cremated alive, and it's terrifying to think about.
Yeah, you're getting burned alive.
Yeah, and you can't get out. Yeah. So, it's essential to get the cremation authorization completed and signed by the next of kin. Also, I wonder if bodies who were like, say somebody's like murdered and it's an unsolved case, I'm very curious to know if they can get cremated or not. I would say, I don't know legally if you can or not, because think about how many times like somebody's murdered, they're buried, and then like years later they're like, hey, we have a clue, we found a piece of DNA.
Them up.
No, bury them up. We're gonna
bury them up.
Okay, it's dig them up, but it's like exhuming the body. So we're gonna exhume the body, and then they put pieces together. Do you know what I mean? But you can't do that if they're cremated. So I wonder if that's a thing.
If like it's illegal to cremate someone that was murdered, because that makes sense.
I feel like it would be smarter if you just like, if it's an unsolved case when the person is dead,
bury them.
Yeah. Bury that.
Bury that along with their secrets.
Oh my God. So basically, during the incineration, the body is exposed to a column of flames produced by a furnace fueled by natural gas, propane, so on and so forth. The casket and or containers burned. Next, the heat dries the body, burns the skin. This might be a little bit graphic for you guys, but this is what happens. And it's of no use to you because you're not alive anymore. So it burns the skin and hair. It contracts and chars the muscles, vaporizes the soft tissues, and calcifies the bones. So basically, they crumble. Some crematories have secondary afterburners to help the body if it's not like totally burned. Blah, blah, blah. As a result, the corpse is reduced to skeletal remains and bone fragments, which are collected in a tray or pan and allowed to cool for some time. Depending on if they have like hip replacements or certain things like that, they will piece through it and kind of pull out the parts that they notice, and then they can use like the help of a giant magnet or something. They might find dental work, dental gold, structural screws, implants, etc., and all that fun stuff. So finally, the dried bone fragments are further ground into finer sands-like consistency in a badass machine called the cremulator. So for 3 hours later, it like crushes them up. It's time for the cremulator. It's time for the cremulator. We're not laughing at like dead people, but
we're laughing at the cremulator.
We are. So 3 hours later, the human body that was of normal weight is now reduced to 3 to 7 pounds of cremains. Cremains are basically just technically, quote unquote, ashes that are left behind. I thought you fucked up. I was going to be like, ha, 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 because... Nope, they're cremains.
Can't say shit right.
And then your cremain ashes can be scattered, buried in the ground, or floated in water. But that is not all. Let's take a look at all the crazy shit you can do with your ashes. These are just a couple. So you can get it mixed into... oh, shit. I just scrolled to the top. Yes. You can get it mixed into stained glass or blown glass.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's cute. Make a little ornament. Give it out to your friends or your ugly...
kids.
Yeah, your ugly kids. Some people have put their ashes into a balloon and just let that shit go.
That's cute.
It's cute until it ends up in your front yard. Your ashes can be made into a tree, which I feel like a lot of people have known that. I think it's pretty dope. I'd be a pussy willow. You can have your ashes. You can get your ashes made into wine. So James Keenan, who is the frontman for the band Tool, scattered the ashes of his mother in a private vineyard and then used those grapes to create a special wine named in her honor, which I think is interesting.
It is, but I hope he's not drinking that.
I hope so too. There's a company called Huggables Collection, and they will have your ashes sewn into a teddy bear.
Okay, that's cute.
That's cute. Build a bear.
You could have them like put into a tattoo.
That's literally my next one. Get it mixed into ink and have it tattooed on someone who's alive.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's wow. You can live forever in a comic book. I know I'm going to butcher this. Mark Grenwald. So he was a famous writer and editor for Marvel comic books. He loved comic books so much. His dying wish was to have his body cremated and turned into ink so he could forever be a part of the stories that he loves.
Cute.
His ashes were, in fact, turned into ink, and they're in an issue of Squadron Supreme.
Squadron Supreme.
Rock on. There's an organization called Eternal Reef, and they're dedicated to rebuilding coral reefs, and they can actually mix your loved one's ashes into cement that holds down coral reefs.
That's nice.
And are you a patriotic bitch? Because you can be turned into a firework.
What?
I'm sorry if somebody out there has a loved one that turned into a firework. I'm really not trying to laugh, but some of these are like, okay, I'm sorry. So Angel Flights.
No, I don't think that's like a thing. I don't think people actually do that.
People do, because there's a business called Angel Flights, and they will shoot your remains and shower them up in the sky in a blaze of glory.
This.
Or you can become a frisbee. The man behind the successful...
How do you go from a firework to a frisbee?
It's just the summer barbecue thing.
Literally. 4th of July things.
Oh my God, I'm dying. Cremate me and put me in a frisbee. So the man behind the successful toy, he had his ashes compressed into a frisbee so his friends, his ugly friends and his family could throw it around at the summer barbecue.
'Cause you ugly! I'm gonna throw you
Oh
into
my
a frisbee.
God. Okay, I'm almost done here, y'all. We're running out of time. But okay, jumping to a completely different topic. Viking funerals, many of you know, where you pretty much put a body on a boat, light that shit, and let it float out, and it's just like a fiery blaze with dead bodies on it.
Bodies or body?
I feel like it depends. You could put them in a canoe, or Sarah mistakenly called a canoe a yacht.
I did.
That makes quite the difference when you're telling your friends that you have a yacht, and then they come over and they you hand them a paddle, and they're like, "Whoa, I was dressed up for the mini bar."
Oh my God, that's so funny. And it's like, no, we're rowing this shit, bitch.
Oh my God. Yeah. So the heat that would give off is not actually hot enough to cremate a body, so the body would burn. It would get chilled in the water until it becomes fish food, bird food, or washes up on a beach somewhere.
Yikes, imagine that.
Also, there's this thing called sky burials. This is kind of cool. It's a funeral practice in which a human corpse is placed on a mountaintop or in an open field to decompose while it's exposed to the elements, to be eaten by scavenger animals and especially vultures.
I don't want to be eaten by anything.
It's practiced in Chinese provinces in autonomous regions of Tibet, Sichuan, and Inner Mongolia. It's mostly a religious thing, and in that case there's obviously no need to preserve the body. Maybe just a good dipping sauce for the vultures, maybe a nice dry rub, and the function of the sky burial is simply to dispose of the remains as generous as a way as possible. I kind of like that one.
Me too. It's nice.
It is kind of nice. Like, what am I going to do with? I would donate my organs that I need and like feed. That shit's for the birds.
Literally, my shit's for the birds.
Okay. Also, something to consider if you're going to be buried in a mausoleum, which are like the above ground things that have doors on them.
Mm-hmm. Like your houses.
Or if you die in general, bacteria in your stomach begins to eat away the entire insides.
That's how my stomach feels when I don't eat.
Yes. And lots of people want bodies to be pretty and preserved when they're 6 feet under. Honestly, they're not going to any parties anytime soon. So they get protective caskets that are airtight. They don't want those bugs coming in. They don't want any water coming in.
No, it shouldn't.
I don't know. I don't understand why it's such a concern unless it's, again, like an unsolved murder.
Oh, that's true.
Preserving your dead body isn't... I don't
not
quite know
important.
who... I don't quite know who... Like, why humans feel the need to find comfort in that.
Shit?
Yeah, I would like to talk to them. But pretty much over time, gas builds up, especially if you're in like an airtight casket. And your body can actually blow up. If someone is in an above ground mausoleum, it can literally blow the lid off the coffin and damage the door from the outside. There's like pictures online of mausoleum doors that are damaged from caskets blowing up inside from like bodily gases.
See? No.
That just made... Can you just... Okay, come with me now. Close your eyes. Are you closing your eyes?
Yeah.
Imagine you're in a graveyard late at night. You're alive. You're not the dead body.
Am I alone?
No, it's you and me.
Okay.
And we're hanging out. We got Doritos and a Ouija board, and we're gonna talk to Billy Mays, and we're hanging out there, and then all of a sudden we just hear like a boom from a mausoleum that's behind you.
See? No.
And the door cracks open.
What is
Excuse
this?
me.
A thriller video?
Yeah. No, thank you.
No thanks. I'm running. I'm leaving.
On to the next.
I'm out.
Yeah, and that was my last thing. But real quick, my cousin's fiance, Frankie. So he's kind of my cousin. Hey, Frankie, what's up? He listens to us.
Hey, Frankie. Jonathan told me so much about you. Thank you so much.
Love you. He told me about this bar in the Yukon called Sour Toe. Okay? And it's called that because there's a thing called...
Don't do it.
Dead Man's Toe.
Dead Man's Toe. Dead Man's Toe.
All right. Hang on. I'm going to read directly from this website of what exactly it is, and it makes me want to barf.
Barf it up.
All right. So it began in 1973 when a man in Dawson City, Yukon, found in a jar, he found preserved in alcohol, a human toe, a real life human toe. So, So basically, he came up with this idea. I have no idea how this is legal, how this is possible. He came up with this idea for a 2-ingredient recipe: champagne plus a pickled toe.
Oh my God.
Over the years, things have changed, but the sour toe rules have remained the same. Any liquid, alcoholic or otherwise, may now be used, but drinkers must abide by the official chant. Are you ready for this chant?
I'm not drinking a toe.
Drink it fast or drink it slow, but the lips have to touch the toe.
Stop. No.
So you go to this place and you buy this drink and they reuse the same toe. As if it's not gross enough that there's a actual human toe in your drink, they reuse it. So if you got the herp de derp, it's on that toe when you're giving it to the next person. So the same toe is used for every drink. Alcohol keeps it sterile is what they say. But incidents of accidental swallowing have resulted in a succession of donated toes. Okay, so the first toe was amputated from a man's frostbitten foot.
Amputate it off.
Amputate it off. That's another story. I thought it was like amputate, not amputate.
Yeah.
And it wasn't when I was little. It was literally a couple years ago. I thought you like amputate your...
He was like, I'm gonna have to amputate it away.
And you were like, what?
I was like, I really hope you're joking.
He was not joking. So that frostbitten toe from 1920 went down the throat of an intoxicated miner in 1980. They're always screwing things up.
How are you an intoxicated miner?
In the 80s, you could just get in anywhere. Come on. Okay. Well, it also says miner, like he could have been like somebody who was mining coal.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I think that's what it is. Because it's spelled different, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I feel silly. So toe number 2 was donated by its owner when its owner developed an inoperable corn and went missing a short time later. Don't know what that means.
It's like a toe corn.
Oh no, cornflake toe nails?
Yeah, like that's like a thing. Like it's like a corn. Like it's
disgusting.
Nasty toe. Look it up.
I'd really rather not. And then a baseball player swallowed toe number 3, which was another frostbite casualty in 1983. So 5 toes since have been used at the bar.
And swallowed.
The most recent toe donated arrived in a jar with the message, quote, "Don't wear open-toe sandals while mowing the lawn."
Oh my God, stop. My mom's friend lost her big toe that way.
My uncle did.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what? I'm going to post a picture of this on social media. So go check it out. It's pretty gnarly. It looks like a piece of dog poop.
Cute.
So I've been talking about death for a while. You got a fun fact to lighten the mood?
Yeah. In 2015, more people were killed from injuries caused by taking selfies than shark attacks. And that was really ironic because I take a lot of selfies.
You sure do. That's funny.
And I never injured myself.
Oh, well, there you go. That's good.
I do that in my everyday life.
Amazing. You're like an acrobat. My fun fact is if you keep yelling for 8 years, 7 months, and 6 days, you would produce enough sound energy to heat up a cup of coffee.
Soiled it.
Bone apple tea. Look at that. Episode came full circle.
Wow, sure did.
Thank you guys for listening to us yap.
Thank you. I think we did a lot of yapping.
We did a lot of yapping.
We were like really floored about these.
I think this is so interesting, and I hope
everyone else thinks.
Yeah, I hope you guys thought it was interesting too. Again, a special shout out to our patron Veronica.
Yes,
thank you, girl. If you want to get a shout out and join our Patreon, it's patreon.com/esoteric oddities. Where can they find us?
They can find us on our Twitter account, Esoteric Oddity. That's no S at the end. Guys, don't do the S at the end. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram, Esoteric Oddities. Follow us on Facebook.
Facebook.com/esoteric oddities. I think we forget to say that all the time, but
we forget about Facebook. But we post some really cool things on Facebook and Instagram. So those are like our poppin' places.
For sure.
And Patreon, of course.
And if you have questions, concerned, if I triggered you at all, if we triggered you at all, it's odditiespodcast@gmail.com.
Guys, review us on iTunes, please.
Yes,
all
it
the
helps
good,
us out
bad,
a
negative,
lot.
Great.
Yes, thank you so much for the people who have given us 5 stars so far. You guys are awesome. It really does mean a lot when it comes to the business side of things. iTunes has, again, this algorithm that's funky. Ours is particularly in a strange place right now. So if you review and it doesn't go through, we've gotten that a couple times, and we're trying to fix the problem. We are in talks with iTunes right now, but thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And we will
see you soon.
Bye.